Glory to the triune God. Welcome back, everyone, to Sunday Evening Coffee with Aboona. My name is Princy Paul, and I'm talking to you from Dallas in Texas. And co hosting with me today is
Hello, everyone. My name is Abel John, and I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm super excited to co-host once again, Christy.
same here as well. I can't wait to get started. So, last time on Sunday Evening Coffee with Aboona, we enjoyed the presence of our esteemed guest, Very Reverend Father Abraham Kadavil Corepiscopos. And he talked about the Christian perspective of dating, the advantages, the disadvantages, and the practicality in our lives.
For those of you who are unable to watch our first episode with Aboona, let me take the time to introduce him. Very Reverend Father Abraham Corepiscopos is a senior priest in the Malankara Archdiocese in North America and Canada. He's a licensed counselor and a fellow of the American Association of Pastoral Counselors. He's enjoying his retired life in Baltimore, and he's a great source of inspiration for many youth and young adults. So I once again, it's my pleasure to welcome our beloved Aboona Abraham Corepiscopos to our Sunday evening coffee with Aboona. Hi, Acha.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Let's get started.
Yeah. So today we have a continuation of our topic from last time. So last time we talked about dating, and today we are going into a topic which immediately follows that. So that is marriage. And as suggested by our Aboona, we have titled our topic as Marriage is Made in Heaven, but Some Fell on Earth.
This is a very important and sensitive topic, a field where most people need advice and pastoral counseling, but we often look over and ignore this topic, which can lead to many misunderstandings and problems. So, Aboona, can you give a small introduction into our topic today?
Glory be to the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you for having me again to speak on the subject of marriage. As we all know that marriage is as an institution which is as old as human race. Adam and Eve were married according to the plan of God in the Garden of Eden. So it is an institution where the Christian families enjoy having their sons and daughters to be married. At the same time, the marriages can also bring, along with the happiness, lot of issues, conflicts, and problems. So today, we are going to talk about how a couple can continue a healthy marriage according to the plan of God. So, in the ancient time, in our culture, in Malankara, a girl who is married joins with a family. It was just like a melting pot. So the girl melts with the family. She does not have to worry about anything. The mother-in-law is taking care of the kitchen, the food, the management of the household. The main income is brought by the father. The husband may be helping in the family agriculture. So in the modern time, it is different. A married couple may be living in Gulf area, Australia, or America, or Canada, or Europe, because of opportunities of work in the modern time. When two people are living alone as husband and wife, and they did not have the support of the in-laws or other members of the family or friends, sometimes problems begin to arise, and they may not be able to solve the problems. They have nobody to talk to. That creates marriage conflict. And in the new era, there are marriage counseling where couples can go and get help. When a couple is being married, there is premarital counseling. But these are not the final answers to build a healthy, wholesome marriage. So we are going to talk about the various aspects of the marriage relationship, conflicts, how do we solve them. So let us continue with the next question.
Thank you, Aboona. So, thank you for getting us started. So, as you said, we are now going to discuss about the different problems that people face in their marital life. So, most of the people, when they enter into marriage, they know about the ups and downs that they have to face. Up to a certain extent, they are aware of what they have to see in front of them. But in spite of all that, when they actually enter into a relationship, they see that it's not like a bed of roses. They have a lot of things to deal with. So, one of the main common things that we see is the problems that arise due to misconceptions or unfulfilled expectations. That is, when an individual enters into a relationship, he or she may have a lot of expectations from their partners. And when that's not fulfilled, that leads to sorrow in their life and that leads to many issues. So, this is a common thing that we see nowadays. So, what do you have to tell about that?
Well, that is a very important question. People have a lot of expectations when they get married. These expectations and ideas are coming into their mind through friends, through media, through internet, through books. So they build a kind of illusion that once they are married, it is going to be a heavenly experience. It is going to be excitement. There are not going to be any problems or any concerns. So when they find out that these expectations are not going to be fulfilled by their partner, they feel very depressed. They feel unhappy. So people need to think about what are the illusions that they are building up. They have illusions about their physical needs. They have their illusions about money, job, new home, nice neighborhood, good friends, lot of illusions. But 100 years ago, when a girl or a boy is married, these illusions were not there because they had no outside influence. There was no internet. There was no social media. There were not any communications that were giving them ideas fed into their system. So the new couple, when they are not fed according to their needs, they feel immediately very unhappy. That is, they live in a fantasy. Things have to be always right. Nothing should go wrong. and then they blame each other. Then the husband will say, this is not the girl that I wanted to marry. And the wife will say the same thing. This is not the man that I wanted to marry as my husband. How am I going to live like this? So here we see how people get started with the problems, anxiety, depression, illusion, fantasy. It is very unnatural to live like that. And we have to address these issues. So let me ask Abel a question. Abel,
Yes.
you have just graduated and you are going to work.
Yes.
One day you will be married, hopefully. What
Yes.
are your expectations from your wife, future wife?
Well, I expect that uh, that she will be supportive and loving, caring, and yeah. I mean, I haven't really thought about this. You're kind of putting me on the spot, but yeah, I'd like to think that I don't have high expectations, but I think if I sit down and think about it, I can probably find a lot of things that maybe I'm over expecting things, right? Um, but as of right now, I can't think of anything more. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you begin to think about what kind of woman she should be and what are your hopes and aspirations that you want to fulfill through a marital life. So, what will be the next question?
So it's a very important point. I think it was the right starting point to talking about issues in marriage. Is that when we bring in the false expectations and illusions into the marriage, I think that's when things go wrong. So is a part of this the fact that individuals fail to make themselves better first before placing these, fantasies and expectations on their current or their future partner? And if that's the case, then how can people work on themselves first? What are the things that stand in their way of doing that?
Well, in many churches now, there is premarital counseling with the expectation that a man and a woman can learn some of the basics of a marital life. But I don't think that a premarital counselor can give a deeper understanding of what is marriage. So, here, what I am going to say is that a man and a woman need to think and pray and have a self examination. Who am I? A basic question. What am I bringing to this marriage? Then he has to write down some of the answers and share that with the person that he is going to marry. And if a couple is already married, they can share this to the spouse. Most of the time, a man will try to follow what he has seen in his own family, what type of father he had. A woman will try to see what kind of mother she had and what was her parents' marriage like, ups and downs, and they are going to continue to live their parents' marriage. That is why a self-examination is very important. They are not going to follow what they have seen in a negative way with their father or mother, with their parents, but they want to see what they want to build up in their relationship as husband and wife. That's what this self-examination is. And there are going to be some weakness when you self-examine yourself. There is also an area where you will be finding some pearls, some diamonds in your life. That means some good things about you. And the human nature is that we are not, we find it very difficult to be very positive about our own strengths. But sometimes we will talk more about our weakness. It is very important that the husband is able to find his strengths that he is bringing to this relationship. And a woman is finding out her strengths that she is bringing to this relationship. So when two people are finding these strengths in each other and also in themselves, there is always a way of solving their problems because they can add these strengths together so that they can build a beautiful relationship. So I'm going to ask Princy a question. As she is already married for 3 years, let me ask Princy, say 3 positive things that you like about Robbie.
Oh, okay. 3 will be an understatement. It will be like, I think it's not enough, but yes. 3, okay. First thing would be that he's very understanding. Second thing, very patient. Third thing, very loving. These are the 3 main highlights that come into my mind now.
Very good.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He's a good guy. He's a great guy.
So
Thank God.
let me ask you a second question.
Okay.
Give me 3 positive things that Robbie likes about you.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think I'll have to ask him that. I
I'm asking
hope
you.
he. I try to take care of him, to love him back, to understand him back. I think the same qualities that he gives me, I try to reflect them back. So I try to be understanding and patient and loving. And as
Good.
a wife, I think we have more practical things to do to it around the house. So those are the ways how I show it. But I think what his qualities inspire me to do the same thing to him. So
Good.
I think,
Good.
yeah, that's
Yeah, well, it seems to be a good couple.
I think I need to
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we can put both of them on our program one day and ask them questions so that people can learn from
I
an
hope
ideal
Yeah.
couple.
he agrees.
Thank God for them. You know. So
Yes.
uh, when we self-examine, uh, uh, we should not feel very guilty about uh, the weaknesses that we have.
Yeah.
Because we should not feel bad in showing our weakness to our spouses.
Mhm.
Because or if I show my wife my weakness, she will take advantage of me, or she won't like me. Vice versa. A weakness can be talked about, and then it can become a strength in building closeness together. A husband can feel my wife has certain areas where she is not the best person to keep a checking account, you know. But so I can help in that, so that when we write a check, the check will not bounce. Helping each other in the weaknesses, and that is a compromising effect in relationship.
Right.
Yes, Abuna. So, like you said, self introspection is a very important thing for everyone. So, though I mentioned a lot of positive things, it's not like that like every moment. Of course, there are rifts, there are times when we need to adjust, times when we need to think, sit and think if what I am doing is okay and am I expecting too much. So, like you said, that's a very important aspect in marriage, self introspection and understanding and thinking if whether you are expecting too much from your partner. But this is a skill I think that can be achieved over the years, it doesn't come too soon. So, through your years of experience, what do you think are the skills that couples should achieve so that they can do this in a better way, so that they can self introspect themselves and also not demand too much from their partner? So, what are the skills that couples need to have in their family life?
As God's people, we all have tremendous skills. That doesn't mean that, as I have already mentioned, there are areas that we are not very efficient. So, when a couple is trying to build their relationship, the husband and wife need to find out what are the areas that they lack skill. What are the areas where they feel they are not good enough to carry out a mission, a job, that they cannot accomplish someday. So it is also part of the self-examination, as we have already discussed. So if it is a job that a person has been doing for the last 5 years and there is no promotion, there is no increase in his salary, and he feels stuck there, then he has to think about how do I improve my working situation? How do I get more money so that I can build a better life? So he may have to go back to school. He may have to learn a new skill. So both husband and wife need to examine these type of issues like education, training, work experience, so that they can get advancement and progress in life. And never feel that you are stuck in a slot. You can always get out. But you have to feel the pain of being stuck in one place. And when you really feel that pain, that's a good start. That you are able to say, I'm going to make it in life. I'm going to better my life. So that's what having a skill means, that you learn how to improve, how to better your life. And if a person is very critical about his spouse, or a wife is very critical about her husband, they have to change that. They have to learn new skill, how to complement each other. Instead of putting person down all the time, how do I build my wife so that she can feel much better? Because I see she is always depressed. And so Where there is criticism, you bring compliments. Where there is low self-esteem, you build a feeling good about yourself, a positive identity about life. Many people live in a negative world. When you have the skill of understanding these issues, then you will be capable of changing that into a better relationship. Then there is the management of money. Many people have no idea what to do with the money that they receive. They don't have a budget. They don't have a bank account. You know, they keep their money in their pockets all the time, cash. So the husband and wife need to sit down together and say, how do we manage our income? A checking account, savings account, find a financial advisor and ask questions about improving their assets, having investments, life insurance. So these are some ways of building new skills in life. So when you do that, you will see that 10, 20 years from today, you have some assets in life that you need for education of your children or buying a better home or helping people, families in India where they need some assistance. So improving the skills and uh, as I said before, finding weakness is not a drastic thing. Trust each other in a way that you are able to bring up your weakness and asking the other person, please help me with this. In this area, I have weakness. You help me. You pray for me. So these are some ways of building your skill to manage your marital life. Okay.
So ultimately, what it comes down to is choice, right? Making good choices for yourself and your partner. And as all the examples that you mentioned, Abuna, it's about finding what the other person is lacking and finding what you are lacking and putting those together and solving the issues and deficiencies, right? So finding out all these things and making those mesh together is ultimately the key. And in some terms, they have to make choices, right? You can make good choices or bad choices. And so, can you talk a little bit about?
So in life, we have choices. I already mentioned about the people being stuck in a job for many years, 5, 10 years. So the first choice is, how do I get out of this with my education, applying for other jobs, making a move? So there's a choice in life. You don't have to feel that you are stuck in one place forever. Then there is a choice when you are in a community. Do you have a place where you are worshiping? Do you have a church where you are a member? When you are a member of a church, there is fellowship. There are programs for your children, Sunday school, youth programs. There are programs for women and St. Paul's Fellowship for men. So you need to be part of a worshiping community where life is not just based on materialism, but also on faith and religion, where you are part of this big family of the Holy Church. And that is very important for improving your relationship. Then choices. What kind of friends you choose? Are they going to be people helping you to grow, or are they people who are going to be very destructive of you? So when you choose friends, you have to be very careful. There are friends who are alcoholics. People get together and drink. People get together and gamble. People get together and drugs. So there are always a way of getting involved in the bad crowd, and then that affects your marital relationship. Your influence should not be in a negative way from friends. Your influence should be from people who are very positive about life, people who really care about you and not trying to take advantage of you. There are people who are in a club, mainly men, going to an evening club where they are members, and women are not in that club. So we don't know what is going on there. So you have to be home with your family and not spending time in a club a couple of times a week. You see, so evening time is very important, a choice. How do I be home after my work? Because when I am in the family, we have to have a family prayer, Bible reading, singing, saying the prayers of the church, and praying for others. These are choices. Without a good choice, a marriage cannot work. It cannot be successful. Making good choices will create a healthy relationship. So when you look back 40, 50 years from today, then you will feel, thank God that I made some good choices. Sometimes when you make a choice, it may hurt you. It is painful to say no to a bad friend. It is painful to say, I stopped drinking. But you have to face that pain so that you can become healed. That's very important in a Christian family system.
Yes, so we discussed now three main points as to how, as an individual, we need to introspect ourselves, and also how couples can complement each other so that both of them can inspire the other one person to become better. And so, as a couple together, they can become better. So, as an individual being better, as a couple being better. And the third thing is, as a family, to use skills so that they can have a good environment around them and also to make good choices. So, these are the main things that we discussed so far. But what if a person fails at the first step, that is at the self introspection? Because we see many people, they tend to victimize themselves and blame the other person. They always put themselves in and think that they are in a bad situation or they are in a worse position than the other person. So what do you have to tell about such an aspect? Why do you think this happens in a couple's life?
Well, that is a very important question. A couple can get into a game where a wife may say, nobody loves me, nobody cares about me, my husband never helps me, I have to take care of the children, I have to do the laundry, I have to do the cooking, I have to go for grocery shopping, I have to go for my work at night. When I come home, I have to take care of the little babies. Go on and go on. The list goes on like that. This is called poor me syndrome. Feel sorry for me. The world should feel sorry for me because I am a victim. That is a very unhealthy situation. What brought this woman to this kind of situation? There are various reasons for that. Sometimes this young lady learned this from her own mother, who used to play poor me syndrome, saying the same thing as she is saying. And the mother was always working very hard. There was no help. Husband was not available to do any help. That is where a couple has to sit down and talk about this. Instead of playing poor me syndrome, she has to get some courage and talk about this. I cannot do this alone. I need you to help me. There are certain things that you can do. I don't have to be a martyr. I don't have to do everything alone. I don't have to be Jesus Christ who is trying to save everybody. Then there will be a change in the relationship. A husband has to know that my wife has been going through a very difficult, hard time in this relationship where I have been a silent observer. I can give a story about a WhatsApp picture that I got. It's a film. A wife was working very hard. She was cutting fish and making a fish curry. And then she was cleaning the table. Then she was washing the dishes. Then she was putting clothes in the laundry. After the laundry was dried, she was folding the clothes. So where was the husband in the picture? Husband was sitting in a chair, having his 2 feet on the table, looking at the iPad all this time. And she was very, very angry, looking at him. And he was always looking down on the iPad, enjoying the program that he was seeing. Finally, she got very angry and she decided to do something. It's very interesting to see what she did. She opened the door of the place where they were sitting. Then she took some towels, bath towels. She kept the door open and put the bath towel over his head and then hit him a couple of times. Immediately, she lay down on the floor and put another towel on her face. The husband got up, removed the towel, and looked down. His wife is on the floor, and she has a towel on her face. And he picked her up and looking through the door, who came and hit us? We both were kicked and hit. And you can hear the laughter of an audience. So what happened was that she played the victim, doing everything on her own, without even discussing with her husband. Finally, she got very angry and acted out and beat him and made a drama. This is a good example of many couples where husband or wife being the victim and trying to do everything together, alone, and there is no enjoyment in life, and that should stop. And nobody should be playing the victim, husband or wife. I'm not saying that there are occasions where many men are feeling as victim too. I don't want to be one-sided. So both husband and wife need to nurture each other, complement each other, help each other, understand what the signals are coming out of my wife. And the wife is saying, what are the signals that I am getting from his antenna? What are his needs? What is he trying to say? Is he very lonely? Is he feeling very abandoned? Is he not getting any love from me? So mutual understanding and mutual caring and mutual conversation, communication is very important in a relationship where people can build up closeness and intimacy.
So these are all, very common mistakes and misunderstandings that couples make about their partners. And, the people that are watching, unmarried people can also get some insight as well. So if you're looking to get married, examine your expectations and evaluate whether you have what it takes to be a good partner. And it's fair to expect the things you expect now. These are all the things that both married and unmarried individuals can think about.
Yes, that's true. I think we got a lot of practical advice from what Aboona has discussed with us, with a lot of interesting stories and events. I think many of us will be able to examine their lives, and even people who claim that they did not have any problems can now actually look into it and see if there are any voids anywhere and try to resolve them in the proper way. So, thank you, Aboona, for sharing your valuable advices and from your experience with us. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. So everyone, we are not done with this topic. Today we discussed the practicality aspect of marriages and common pitfalls and the solutions to those problems. So we're not letting Aboona go anytime soon because we will be back next time with part 2 of this topic. So we still have to discuss the purpose of our lives that come to fruition in marriage. What is God's purpose for us as men and women? Why apply these skills to marriages?
Thank you, Aboona. So next week, I hope we can understand more about how to live together as a Christian couple and what the actual purpose of a family life is in a biblical perspective.
Good. Thanks very
Okay.
much. It will be 1 month from today.
Okay,
Yes.
Aboona. We'll be looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you.
So everyone, please be sure to subscribe and follow Urho the Way on our various social media platforms, such as YouTube and Facebook, and even Instagram. And we will see you all next time.
Good night. Bless you.